Third Eye Vision.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Mike. That's my cousin Anthony. Welcome to the Third Eye Vision. We're gonna get it popping for you. Keep it moving.
That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all?
Good morning. Thank you for joining me today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca. Today, my friend Anthony Parker is joining us via Skype. Thank you for joining us today. Anthony, how are you?
I am really glad to be here. I'm fine.
Anthony, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Anthony. I don't mind giving my whole name. Anthony Parker. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And pardon my voice, I'm a little hoarse. But I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been here for a while. Graduated from LSU with a degree in criminal justice. I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, which is a Black fraternity here in the United States and abroad. I also am totally blind. I lost my sight at I think the age of 2 years of age, due to well, it's a combination of two things: spinal meningitis, as well as I had German measles, or my dad had German measles, whatever the case may be. I lost my sight at that point.
Okay. So how old are you a Braille reader, Anthony?
I am a Braille reader. I have computer skills, mobility training, I'm very diverse in a lot of situations. I do work. I used to be in the music industry for some time as a producer, rap producer, or I produce some R&B. I also worked in the dining industry. We had a restaurant, and I had my mama for a couple of years, and I also did my own thing for like 15 years, in which I produced, promoted other artists, and currently I'm working at the Lighthouse of Louisiana, in which I'm trying to find some better employment.
Is the Lighthouse for blind people? I've heard of other lighthouse places.
It's
what do you do there?
Okay, first question. It's 75% of the people, or 85% of the individuals who work there are visually impaired or have some type of visual problem. And what I do there, I am a packager, boxer, sort of. I work on the assembly line where they manufacture cups and what have you. And I've been there for 7 years, and I've been drastically trying to find some better employment that will meet my standards as well.
So Anthony, tell me about your YouTube channel, what you've done with it thus far and what your plans are with it.
Actually, the YouTube channel has been in existence for about 2.5 years. It was formerly called The Parker Daniel Show, and that's only because I had went into a thing with my co-host, and she's no longer with me, so I transitioned, and I call it now Third Eye Visions. And that's basically third eye, meaning your mind and what have you. So I don't want to go really too much in detail with that. But with my YouTube channel, I plan to bring the sighted community and the blind community together by talking about various issues, because at some point we are the forgotten community. So my job, I feel, is to bridge the gap, to talk about the things that blind people do. It's just inundated in the daily living, to get individuals who have lost their sight due to certain situations and talk about it, and hopefully bring some positivity to it.
So Anthony, can you tell me about your history with blindness?
I lost my sight due to spinal meningitis. Now, I haven't done too much research on it, but I've run into a lot of individuals who have lost their sight due to meningitis, and you can either become deaf, or I think maybe don't quote me on this, but probably lose your life, and blindness. But spinal meningitis, and also I think my dad had German measles and what have you. So that is what caused me to lose my sight at the age of 2.5 years of age. So I've dealt with it for a large period of my life, and I'm familiar with everything. So that's what it is.
Okay. So Anthony, do you use a dog or a cane?
I'm a cane user. I use a cane, but I had thoughts about getting a dog sometime in my earlier life, but no, just because using a cane, it makes me feel more independent. And not saying nothing against people who use dogs, because I've interviewed individuals who have dogs, and I have friends. It's just my preference. But I also, I'm a man who speaks his mind. I feel that it just makes me feel like more dependent. Independent. I mean, dependent when I get a dog. Excuse me.
I understand. I, like you, I'm a cane user, and I have thought in depth about a guide dog, but my feeling on it was, I have 2 children, I also have a husband, and I now have a boyfriend. I have plenty of people in my life I need to take care of. I don't need another creature that I need to take care of. And I know that taking a dog, I travel a lot, and taking a dog with me, I would have to take a lot of extra stuff with me, and it's just easier. Yeah, so.
That's so true, because I had a Rottweiler one time, and speaking of taking care, that does, you have to really treat it as if it was your child. So, luckily I had a lot of time on my hands to actually deal with it. But one thing that really kind of weighed in on that was, like, when my dog passed away, we had become so close to where it hurt me a great deal. I was like, man, I'll never get it out. Yeah, so I understand what you mean.
Yeah. Plus, another thing that occurred to me with guide dogs is, in life we get so close to our spouse, and when our spouse dies, it's hard. Imagine the bond that a person would develop with their guide dog. Imagine losing that guide dog. I don't know how I could ever deal with that loss.
It was hard. It was hard for me, believe me. So I cried because, like, as I mentioned, she was a very big part of my life and whatnot. So much to where when she had her puppies, they have to stay still. I was in the area where she was having her puppies. When I got up, she wanted to get up too and follow me wherever I went. But I was like,
your guide dog got pregnant?
No, I had a Rottweiler.
Oh, your pet dog. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she was very, very protective of me, and she was in the area where she was having puppies. As I digress, when I got up to go, do whatever, she wanted to get up instead of having her puppies. She wanted to follow me, which made which I'm saying that she's more protective and more worried about me than her own kids. But when she died, I was heartbroken. And what happened?
Oh yeah, I'm terrified what's going to happen the day one of my dogs dies.
So okay, so how long have you been doing your YouTube channel? Because I know you were on my channel before, and man, you're very open. I like talking to you. You're open-minded. You knew a lot about various subjects. You weren't scared to speak your mind. So that's what made you made me wanted to have you on my YouTube channel, which is Third Eye Vision. So how long have you been on yours?
Well, I started my company in August, and I launched my YouTube channel in October. I don't remember what day we launched our first video. So it's been like 3 months now. I think almost 4 months ago we launched our YouTube channel. And we hit 1,000 subscribers just before the first of the year. And so we're doing really well with that. So
that's what I was just commending you on. I mean, I like 1,000 subscribers within, and then I didn't know it was that short period of time and what have you. I mean, I commend you on that, because as we were talking off camera, it is a lot of work, don't you think?
Oh my gosh, it's like a full-time job, Anthony. Our viewers see a short video here and there. Well, I try to launch a video several days a week. But our viewers see maybe a 15-minute video. They don't realize there's hours and hours of work that goes into that one little video. You know what I mean? So it literally is like a full-time job managing my company. And I'm sure you realize that too. I'm not sure if you're managing yours like a business or just hobby or what, but.
Oh no, this is real for me. I definitely, I wouldn't have invested 2-3 years of my time in it as a hobby, because as I mentioned earlier, I'm definitely trying to find some better employment, and I'm hoping that this does work for me. So I've been in it for like 2.5 years, and I'm just reaching my goal. But a lot of people, and I ask you, and I'll answer too. Ask, what? How do y'all get to 1,000? What do you do? Blah blah blah. Do you have a lot of people that come to you and ask you, what do you do to at least get to your 1,000 subscribers?
I actually haven't talked to very many people about this subject, but let me tell you the way I handle my channel. I try to come up with the best ideas for new and exciting and interesting topics that will educate, enlighten, or inspire people to be better, better, stronger, kinder, sweeter people. You know what I mean? And I find that most of my topics people really embrace. And I don't know if you've looked at any of my videos, Anthony, but I have kind of a interesting variety of videos.
I have.
And I just try to keep it always like I said, I try to make sure it's interesting, educational, and uplifting, you know what I mean? And people are really embracing it. And I think that's one reason why people really embrace what I'm doing,
I had this, and definitely, because I have checked out some of your channel, your videos, especially when you were, I think it was a series in which you were working with, showing how to feed a baby, how to bathe a baby, things like that. And I think that's very, very important because there are blind people are their parents as well, and they definitely need to see that. So with that being said, man, by you touching on certain things, I'm touching on other things as well, and we're collaborating like this. I think this is going to open the door for sighted people to really understand, because as I was talking to other people, they have, and I'm not trying to be long-winded, but they have shows that about individuals of this type of nature, this do this, but I have yet to see reality shows. I have yet to see reality shows about blind people, and when they do have stories about blind people, it's people who probably could see and try to be blind. I want to show that shows individuals who are totally blind and like us, that are really learning how to do things and on screen and whatnot, as opposed to like nothing against Jamie Foxx, that's my favorite, like when they did Ray Charles, to have that person on there to let what I'm saying, because I think that and with my show, that's what I try to get, the realness, the authenticity of how it really is, as opposed to somebody who's been around somebody. And that's what I hope that these channels bring. Don't you think?
Yes, I agree with you, Anthony. And one problem that I learned early on in my blindness is people didn't know what my abilities were. They were telling me what I couldn't do all the time, and I knew what I could do, and I'd go try to do it, and they were jumping in front of me while I'm trying to make my accessibility, figure out my accessibility, They're constantly jumping in front of me saying, whoa, you can't do that, you forgot you're blind. And it was the craziest thing. So I learned way back then that I had to figure out how I was going to teach the world that just because we're blind doesn't mean that we can't do these everyday tasks. So I do videos about cooking, where I'm demonstrating what I'm doing. I'm describing how I'm doing these things, and I demonstrate childcare, and I'm describing how I do these things, because these are the typical things that I was told I could never do, and people just assumed I could never do it because where I was living, people, they couldn't think outside the box, And it was frustrating. I want to teach people like that, so it doesn't happen to anybody else like what happened to me.
There was one there was one episode on this you had shown about, I'm paraphrasing here, that you were looking for something in your ice box, and like if you're a sighted person, a person normally just looking to see, and you went in your ice box. You want tell us tell the people about that.
When I was talking about how I changed the day I noticed that I was using my tactile skills rather than my eyes. Yeah. And as blind people, that's what it's like. When your eyesight goes, your body, you just naturally start using your hands to see with, and using your ears to see with, and using your flesh. Like I'm sure you understand, Anthony, like when you're walking through your house, you brush up against something with your arm, and you're like, oh, that's where that, you know what I mean? Yep. We have, like, our senses, we pick up so much about our environments from all our different senses, and sighted people just don't understand that. You know what I mean? They don't understand the images we draw in our minds using all the information we get from all of our senses. Just because our sense of sight goes doesn't mean our other senses can't, take their place and be just as imperative or
and that's why I like what you said about your arms, like walking, and your arms touch up against things of that nature, because when we use other senses, and that it may sound funny to sighted people about what you just said, but I can relate, and what what you don't have, you saw the makeup in other areas. So we use our hands, we use our touch, we use maybe our foot to know where things are, as opposed to the sighted person, because they so much concentrating on their visual in order to look and see where things are. So that is a great point.
That was something else I was going to talk about. You see, I have a pinched nerve in my back because I've been in 4 car accidents. And sometimes with that pinched nerve, sometimes my arms will be pretty numb. But when I'm walking through my house, I can feel with my feet where I'm going, you know? But if I have my shoes on, I feel like I'm blind. But sometimes like that, I'll take my shoes off so I can see with my feet. You know what I mean?
Yep. And people understand that. They don't understand that.
And you understand, obviously.
Oh, so. Definitely understand that.